The history that we've been presented with is a complete lie. Nothing that we were educated to know is true. The forefathers that students are studying are liars or providing half-truths. I was just watching this documentary on Facebook called Flat Earth is the Key to Unlocking All Truth. And I believe that to be true. Once you understand that we do not live on a spinning ball at all, that we're not traveling thousands of miles per hour spinning around other planets, or they're spinning around us. And we've never been to the moon. But this documentary is really good. I'll show you if you can go and find it. Or maybe I'll put it in the links if I can. I'm sorry I'm not very technical. But what the documentary is about an hour long. Oh wait, it's 2 hours long. It's showing photographs of the 19th century. And all of the buildings, the architecture of all of the buildings around the world are all the same. And other depictions of the photographs. The camera was invented in around, I think it was early 1800s. And these photos were all taken in the 1800s. And buildings like in London, the Crystal Palace, it's all glass, right? And it's rounded glass. It's a spectacular building for the early for the early 1800s to be made, when there's no glass manufacturing yet, according to history. And there's no power tools to have, like the Parliament building in Canada, like, you know what that looks like now. You must have seen it on TV. That is a spectacular building in Canada, built in the mid-1800s. But when you see the photographs of it, there's nobody in the streets. And the documentary showed all of these amazing artistic buildings were as impossible to make as the pyramids in Egypt. I know when I was in Cairo, I had just had an experience down in Sharm el-Sheikh, and I had an accident on the Red Sea with my lungs. I went snorkeling and I couldn't breathe. So I had, I wanted to leave Egypt early anyway, because I went for 7 weeks, but the energy was so bad. Like, oh my God, guys. And I'm an empath and a sensitive, highly sensitive person. So I pick up on the cold, dark hearts. I think people can evolve cold and dark if they're living in lies. And Egypt would be living as many lies as we are. Everybody is living a lie. Even 200 years ago, we couldn't possibly replicate what we did then. Look at Moscow. Look at the streets of Moscow and those Disneyland-style buildings. Aladdin. Right? Like, look at the curved metal in those buildings and ask yourself, how They did it. The other thing they showed in the documentary was the streets were all muddy, like peasant style. Many of the photos, first photos that they could get, like when the camera was invented, I guess, um, the streets were completely empty. There was nobody in the streets, not in any country, not in any city, with these spectacular buildings. There was nobody in the streets. And the documentary showed that when you, what time of day it was, because they could tell by the shadows of the lampposts or something. And lampposts. You know, when Trevor was 13, he told me that we're living life all wrong. He told me that the Jesus we were worshiping isn't a Lord. He said Jesus wouldn't want to be a Lord. He hated the idol stars. But Trevor seemed to know the intentions of Jesus better than I did, and I went to church, and I tried to drag him along, and he really didn't want to go after 13. And then he was playing these games. This was in early 90s, and we were one of the first families in the block to have a computer. Not only did we have a computer, we had a computer each. Myself, my son, and my husband. We all had our own computers. And Trevor was a founder of email. He was a bulletin board operator when he was 11 years old. But he said to me one day, he was playing a video game. What was it called? Oh yeah, Simulated City, Sim City. And it was on Atari, and he was really enjoying that game. I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't really ask. I can only imagine what children are subjected to now, but that's another video. But he told me that this game, he said, that is life. He said, this is it. We come and we choose roles. And we're living through any role we want. But people are all being educated exactly the same way by the same entity. By the same entity. You know, notice that we're all reading the same textbooks in Canada and America, UK, especially in university. It's all the same forefathers: Einstein, Freud, Aristotle. Well, they're Jewish Nazis, really. If you go and do some investigation. And Aristotle only gave us 5 senses. I knew when I was in first year university, this is major bullshit going on. My psychology instructor, professor, whatever he wanted to call himself, would love to talk about Freud and his thoughts. Freud was a pedophile, a Nazi, and a Jew. He was. Go look. In Germany, doing massive experimentation on people in camps, women and children. We have been so maligned from the truth. We're off rails, guys. We're so off rail. People have lost their own conscience in the process. You can't believe in yourself because the world doesn't accept what you think. When you're a child, you're formed by your parents and by education and Hollywood and cartoons. Any book is forming the child. And they're all reading the same thing. They're all getting the same lullabies too. Alouette, alouette, jante alouette, alouette, jante alouette, alouette, jante plumare, jante plumare la tête, jante plumare la tête, et la tête, et la tête, et le nez, et le nez. Oh, alouette. Do you know what that song says? I researched it when I got to Quebec. It says here, I'm going to take your senses away. I'm going to take away your nose. I'm going to take away your head. I'm going to take away... It's your senses. There's something about Napoleon, too. There is a reason I landed in Quebec. It's part of my story. I haven't figured it all out yet, but I'm getting there. I hope you follow me and help me figure it out. There's something about Napoleon in this story, and there's something about me being in Quebec and not in British Columbia anymore. And I haven't figured the whole story out yet, but I am on my way. I just wanted to share with you an opportunity to open your mind to new ideas and new perceptions, especially if you feel unbalanced and your life's really shitty. If your emotional consciousness is off rails, you feel it, then let me help you understand it. I was downloaded by Beings of Light in 2016. I was told to be prepared, and I was healed from many diseases at that time. And then I went homeless, and then I came to Quebec. And I can't learn French. I really can't learn it. I knew that song from when I was a child in British Columbia. Every kid learns the same. Frere Jacques, are you sleeping? They're mocking you. In every which way but loose. They are mocking us and our intelligence. And the only way to get it back is to have an open mind to start, and to start trusting yourself above all others. Trust yourself. I wish I had trusted myself before my son died. Don't make the same mistake. Figure it out. Stay sane and realize you're not alone. We're all in this together. Let's figure it out. All the way. And we can't figure out anything if we're denying that there could be a whole nother world just waiting for us to grab. I got a feeling there is.